Today we are going to be taking a driving tour of the neighborhoods of the southern half of Bellingham, Washington. I'm going to have a forward-facing camera and a side-facing camera rolling, as well as a Google map showing our real-time location. So if you are thinking of moving to the Bellingham, Washington area, or maybe you got a trip planned, you can watch this video ahead of time so that you can plan your trip. Maybe in YouTube you can change the playback speed to 1.5 to get through it quicker. Or if you're actually here, you can have a passenger follow along on this video and check out some of the great neighborhoods. I'm going to have some links in the description below to the other videos that I have on these particular neighborhoods as we go through them. And stay tuned in the future because I'm going to do the same type of video on the neighborhoods of the northern half of the Bellingham, Washington area. So I get asked all the time with people coming into town, hey, what's the best way to check out Bellingham in the most efficient way possible if we get here ahead of time before we start looking at houses? Well, this is the video for that. Right now we are at Lake Padden here in the southern part of Bellingham, Washington. Is where we're going to start. So without further ado, let's hit the road. We are heading out of the west entrance parking lot of the Lake Padden recreational park area. We're heading west here on SAMISH Way. And we are going to be stopping at the first development called the Parkhurst Development. It is in the SAMISH neighborhood. One of the nicer neighborhoods or developments here in the Bellingham, the southern Bellingham, Washington area. Some very high-priced homes starting at about $1.5 to $2 million. And they go up from there. They have some great views to the west of Bellingham Bay. And the reason why a lot of people consider the south neighborhoods of Bellingham, Washington, if you're into a lot of outdoor activities like hiking, biking, kayaking, swimming, mountain biking, all that kind of good stuff, you are very close to the Interurban trail, so you can pretty much get anywhere you need to go within about 5 or 10 minutes. If you've heard of the Lake Padden Triathlon that happens every year here in Bellingham, Washington, Lake Padden back there is where it starts with the swim. It's a great event here that happens every year. So we're heading up to the Parkhurst Development. You're going to see some of these amazing houses that are anywhere from about 10 to 20 years old. Very, very nice homes. It's a very small development, not very big. It's a little loop in here. One nice thing about this development as well is you don't get a lot of through traffic here. So it's going to be really quiet, not a lot of people driving through unless you live here. So yeah, check out some of these houses. You got everything from stuff, that's 20 years old to more modern homes. There might be still a few vacant lots in here that people could build on, but all of these homes are built with these nice west-facing windows, as you can see, to take advantage of that view of Bellingham Bay, which we're going to see here in just a second. It's a bit of a cloudy day today, which actually makes it great to see some of these views because it's pretty amazing here to my left as we get up here to the top of this crest. You're going to see some pretty awesome views of Bellingham Bay. There we go. Check out those views. Now you see those islands out there, they're part of the Puget Sound. The biggest one that you see right there is Lummi, which it's about a 10-minute ferry ride if you do want to hop on a ferry. And also, as I mentioned before, you'll see some links in the description below that are going to be links to other YouTube videos I have on my channel that I've done of each specific neighborhood. So right now we're in the SAMISH neighborhood, so I'd encourage you, if you want to go through and watch the entire video first and then go back and click through, that way you can get a good lay of the land here, and then go back after you watch this entire video and go and look at those specific neighborhoods. And I already made a wrong turn. So we're going to go back up this way, which is going to take us through another development called the Ridgemont neighborhood, which was built back in the 70s. There might be still a few new construction in there as well. Still in the SAMISH neighborhood. So now we're heading north on 40th Street. You can notice some of these lots here to the right, very big lots, some older homes. Some of these are, 1-2 acre lots, very much like country living, yet we're like 5 minutes from the Fairhaven area and we're about 7 minutes from the downtown core area. If you see straight ahead across that mountain that you see, that's King Mountain. That's in the north part of Bellingham. And again, like I said, I'm going to be doing another video just like this of the northern, or the neighborhoods in the north half of the Bellingham, Washington area. I also have a video on King Mountain as well. There's some nice new developments over there with some $1 million plus homes as well. So now we are in the Ridgemont neighborhood. Like I mentioned, a lot of split levels, a lot of homes built in the 70s. Very, very nice neighborhood. A lot of people enjoy living here because it's very quiet again. Homes in here are going to start around $750,000 and go up to about $1 million. Like I said, we're still in the SAMISH neighborhood. And we are coming up on SAMISH Way again. And the next stop is we are going to be heading to the neighborhood that's called the South Neighborhood. Also, just about 5 minutes over to my right, to the west, is Western Washington University. And if you turn right down here to the right on 36th Street, there's some nice new construction homes there all along that side of that bluff that slopes down to I-5. There's some very nice homes with nice views again of Bellingham Bay. The only downside to the area, the homes just off to the right here as it goes down the slope, is you do get a bit of the I-5 road noise coming up the way. But basically from where we're at here and to the left, you don't have much of an issue with I-5 noise at all. And I'm really glad that the rain is holding off. It was raining earlier today and I was thinking it was going to interfere with my camera lenses. So this is a pretty typical day here in the fall. Bellingham, Washington, light drizzle, and then usually the sun breaks mid to late morning. We usually have nice afternoons, plenty of sunshine. All right, so we're making a right here on 40th Street. We're gonna cut through here and head down one of my favorite roads here Bellingham. A lot of great homes, country style living, big lots, new construction, old construction, and a lot of great views of the bay. I like to call these the ladder streets. Ladder is an Ladder, because if you look at it from a map, it kind of steps down like a ladder. These homes in here are going to start again around $700,000-$800,000, going up to several million depending on the lot size and the house itself. If you are into bicycling, road biking, mountain biking, whatever it is, try riding up this hill from I-5 to the top. It is one of the toughest hills in Bellingham if you want to get some climbing training in to your bicycle workout schedule. And we continue down the ladder. You want to be really cautious along here. A lot of people walk. There's no sidewalks. A lot of bikers are coming up here too, so be on the lookout for that. You can start to see some of those views to the left, Bellingham Bay. Fairhaven's down there as well. Happy Valley neighborhood. Again, I have videos on those as well. So once we cross under the freeway here, we're going to come up to the first light. We're going to take a left, and that's going to head into the south neighborhood. The south neighborhood is one of the least densely populated as far as housing goes, but it's beautiful. A lot of trees, forested, very close to Chuckanup Mountain. A lot of trail system, Arroyo Park. So this I-5 exit right here is the first exit you would come to. It's called Old Fairhaven Parkway. If you're coming north from the Seattle area, you would get off on Old Fairhaven Parkway, and then you'd be right here. So we're on Old Fairhaven Parkway right now. If I were to go straight, it would take us right into the heart of downtown Fairhaven, which used to be its own town. And I believe around 1903, the towns of Fairhaven, Bellingham, and New Wacom all merged to form Bellingham. But now Fairhaven definitely feels like old town Bellingham. It's got its own distinct character. It's an urban village, one of the most sought after areas. But enough about Fairhaven until we get there. So we are in the south neighborhood right now. You can see a lot of trees, homes in here. It's going to tend to be older. I would say, 50 years old, that approximate age, maybe a little bit older. Very large lots, very forested. Again, great location if you're into hiking, mountain biking. Watch for deer. Deer are everywhere around Bellingham. And watch your speed too, because the cops love to hang around here. Speed limit's 25. You don't want to get a ticket on your first time or your trip here to Bellingham. But if you ever do get a speeding ticket, let me know, because I got a lawyer that might help you out. Look, I'm going too fast. All right, so we're coming up on Old SAMISH Way. And we are heading west again. It's a nice little drive if you like to do a Sunday drive or a bike ride. This is a nice road to ride on. Again, be careful. A lot of cars do travel a little too fast along here, but it's pretty good, pretty safe for the most part. And to my left, there's a lot of lots in there, big lots, 3, 4, 5 acre lots with nice secluded homes. And again, we are so close to so many amenities of Bellingham. You feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere, but we're literally about a 5-minute drive from Fairhaven, 10-minute drive from downtown Bellingham. So it's a great location if you want to feel like you're away from all the hustle and bustle, but still very close to a lot of what Bellingham has to offer. Just past part of the trail system, the Interurban trail system back there, and the parking for Arroyo Park. So this is Chuckanut Drive. So if I were to go to the left, that would take you down to one of the most beautiful drives, I think, anywhere in the world. If you have time to go down Chuckanut Drive, you can drive all the way down to Skagit County. Unbelievable views of Bellingham Bay. And I have a video if you want to watch on the Chuckanut Drive. I do a drive down Chuckanut, show you all the great things to do, like the top 5 or 6 places to stop and check out the Chuckanut area. There's great restaurants, Taylor Shellfish. Again, I have videos on that. Encourage you to check those out. So we are going to be heading up now to the next neighborhood, which is going to be Edgemoor. All right, welcome to the Edgemoor neighborhood. The Edgemoor neighborhood was first developed back in the 1950s, and it has very large lots for the most part. You'll come up to see more of the older area that we're going to be in. Again, homes there start probably around 1.5 to 2 million. Probably one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in all of Bellingham. Very large lots, usually about an acre. Beautiful mid-century homes. There is some new construction as well. You can see we got views of Bellingham Bay to my right. There's Clark's Point. If you do check out that Edgemoor neighborhood video, you'll see some great properties, great views. There's some hiking down there on Clark's Point. Edgemoor neighborhood also has a very famous landmark called the Larimont Manor, which the original founders of Fairhaven, the Larrabees, they were quite wealthy. They built this big mansion, which has now been turned into, it does have some private apartments that can be rented. It is privately owned. You can have weddings there, beautiful grounds. It used to actually be a convent for nuns at one point. They also have a great swimming club here. I believe it has like a 5-year wait to get into that swimming club. Nice outdoor pool area that's open during the nice summer months here in Bellingham. All right, we're coming up on Fieldstone, which is kind of the main arterial way through the Edgemoor neighborhood. You can see just beautiful lots, very mature landscaping. And you might be able to see some of those views on the side-facing camera of Bellingham Bay. Actually, one of the most expensive houses sold about 2 years ago for $8.4 million, just to my left down there. Stunning waterfront property, beautiful views of the bay. Look, we got a deer straight ahead. Slow down for the deer. How's it going, buddy? Got the swimming club right there to the right. And we got Larimont Manor here, the entrance to the right. You can see right there. You can drive in there, even though it says private events and all that kind of stuff. You can drive in there, and there's a little loop that you can take around, park, walk around. So we are getting very close to the Fairhaven neighborhood. Here on the right, we have Fairhaven Middle School. My daughters went there. They absolutely loved it. They sit in class with these big picture windows and they look out at the bay. I don't know how they're able to focus on their studies. Beautiful, beautiful middle school. Used to be a high school back around the turn of the century. And welcome to Fairhaven. Fairhaven, like I said, is considered an urban village, which means they don't do a lot of improvements. You notice there's, still ditches on the side of the streets, no sidewalks, a lot of older homes. One of the most desirable areas when a home pops up on the market here in Fairhaven, it does not last long. Houses in here, I would say, start probably around 600,000 to 700,000, but that would be for like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 800 square feet on a small lot, up to several $1,000,000. I used to live here in this particular neighborhood. I absolutely loved it. Went for walks at night because it was quick to get onto the trail system. You could walk down through Fairhaven, walk the trail system down to Boulevard Park into downtown. Very easy access for pedestrians and bikers. And you can see Bellingham Bay there, the Alaska Ferry Terminal. Marine Park is just down there to the left. I'd encourage you to check out my Fairhaven video where I walk around and show you all the great things in Fairhaven. There's also another video on the top 5 places to eat in Fairhaven. Just crossing the Interurban Trail parking lot right there as well. If you go to the left, go down to Marine Park. It's one of the lesser known parks here in Bellingham. Very nice, quiet, one of the best places to watch sunsets. They also have a self-serve kayak rental system where you walk up, you go to the website, log in, make your payment, watch the videos, and they give you a PIN code to unlock the locks to get a kayak and all your PFDs and all that good stuff. You can rent those by the hour. We got right over here to, yeah, we just passed it. I was trying to figure out if that was the right building. Evil Mountain Bikes, very high-end mountain bike company here in Bellingham, Washington. And we are entering into downtown Fairhaven. You can see there's a lot of condos and retail space on the lower levels. These condos here, mostly condos right here in the downtown area, they're going to start around 700,000 to 800,000, go up to several million. It's a great place to walk around if you want to spend an afternoon on a summer day. There's a lot of festivals that happen here in the summer months. There is also what they call the Fairhaven Green, which on the summer nights, people come in, sit on the grassy area, and they project a movie up on the side of the building. Great community events. A lot of great restaurants down here. You go straight there, you'd hit the trail that would take you into Boulevard Park by walking. Also, you get free parking up on the other side, which if you watch that Fairhaven video about the 5 best places to eat, I talked to you about how to get free parking because all this is metered parking here. can see that clock tower there. 3 years ago, they built that entire building. It was a big vacant lot, but it was the original location of the Fairhaven Hotel, which was one of the business ventures around the early 1900s that the Larrabees built to try and bring people. They wanted to try and make this the final stop of the railroad system that went across the United States. Unfortunately, it ended up being Tacoma and not Bellingham. Otherwise, Bellingham might have been the Seattle of the Pacific Northwest. That hotel burned down. It was not a big success, but Fairhaven nonetheless survived, and a lot of people love living here. Now we are entering the Happy Valley neighborhood. We're heading east here. Happy Valley got a lot of older homes, again, built around the late 1800s, early 1900s. You will find newer homes as well. Again, these homes start in the $700,000 to $800,000 range as well. That's basically our median price right now in Bellingham, around $750,000 to $800,000. It's really tough to find homes in the $300,000 to $400,000 price range, but it can be done in certain areas. And if you see that hill there straight ahead, that's the Puget neighborhood. That's going to be one of the neighborhoods we drive through here in this video eventually. We are getting very close to Western Washington University. Again, if we continue on this road, we will run into a T-intersection at the beginning of the campus of Western Washington University. But we're not going to go quite there. We're going to make a left-hand turn. And the next neighborhood we're going to check out is the South Hill neighborhood. Again, very prestigious neighborhood. One of the older neighborhoods in Bellingham. Most of the homes have breathtaking views of Bellingham Bay, faces to the west. You can see now we're starting to get into a lot of apartments, of course, because there's a lot of college students that live here. Also, we're close to SEHOME High. I'm sorry. My daughters went there too, to SEHOME High School. SEHOME is a great high school. It's one of 3 in Bellingham, and it was recently completely rebuilt. They tore down the old high school, I think it was 2019, 2020, rebuilt the whole thing just in time for the big C word. So this brand new school, a lot of the seniors, it was going to be their last year. They were so excited to be able to go and move into the new school, and nope. Zoom class. So we are on Knox Avenue right now in the South Hill neighborhood. We're not quite to the best part of the South Hill neighborhood, but there's still nonetheless some beautiful homes along Knox Avenue here. You can see straight ahead there is Bellingham Bay. We're heading west. You can see the Alaska Ferry there in the water. And all basically these streets going off to my right that are numbered, they cross over and pretty much follow parallel to the shoreline down there. And it's all beautiful homes in the South Hill neighborhood. We're going to turn right here on 14th Street. And coming up here on the right is Lowell Elementary, one of the beautiful old elementary schools still open here in South Hill. They shut it down for 5 or 6 years, I believe, in the early 2000s, they just weren't going to use it anymore. Heaven forbid, I hope they weren't going to tear it down, but they reopened it, I think, with a lot of funding and a lot of the community outcry of just like, hey, there's this beautiful elementary school, let's keep using it. Again, the South Hill neighborhood, I've got videos on that, just like all the neighborhoods. Encourage you to watch that when you're done. A great neighborhood to live in if you like to walk around, you like to be close to the waterfront. Very diverse homes. It's just every street you go on is another cool house to look at. I used to like to walk around here when I lived here, and in the evenings when it was dark, and there's a lot of great landscaping, great lighting. Just a really great place to walk around day or night. Look at the views of the bay there to the left. And we are on South Garden Street now, heading northeast. Still in the South Hill neighborhood. One thing you do have to be careful when you're driving around these little side streets in South Hill neighborhood. Some of the streets are very narrow, and there's parking on one side of the road and not the other, and there's really only room, and there's cars coming both ways. It's not a one-way. A lot of these streets are not one way, but there's only room for one car at a time to go. So the way you do it, if you don't already know the etiquette, is like if I'm driving right now, let's just say there was only room for one car to come towards me or me to go forward. The car that's coming towards me, they would see that I'm coming along here, and they would turn in temporarily into one of these parking spots to let me pass. So if you're coming the other way and you're driving on the side where the cars are parked, that's the one thing you do want to look out for here in the in the South Hill neighborhood. And we are coming up again on another part of the Western Washington University campus here. This is the Viking Union. We're going to be passing here. And again, we're going to be entering into the SEHOME neighborhood shortly. Again, we're going to be coming into a lot of older multifamily homes that are being used for college students as well as apartments. You can see there's some dorms, the dormitories there on the right. Fun little neighborhood here. SEHOME, again, a lot of density of college students, so just keep that in mind. I mean, there are noise ordinance that Bellingham has put into place to try and keep the big parties and the Friday nights a little bit sane, but it is still a college town nonetheless in this particular area. A lot of parents that have kids that come to Western Washington University, one of the things some savvy parents will do is they will buy a condo, like a 1 or a 2 or a 3-bedroom condo, or they'll buy a small house for their kids to live in, and then they'll rent out the other rooms to their friends or their college students. You can get about $800 to $1,000 a month per room, per bedroom. So you could pretty much cover a mortgage. And so then when the student graduates, the parents sell the house for a profit. They're able to get that mortgage to buy the house. They don't have to get an investment property loan, so they get better, the same interest rate you would get. They call it a second home. They get the same tax benefits as if it was their primary residence. So it's a great opportunity if you want to go that route. A lot of one-way streets in here, so keep that in mind. And to my left, if we were to go down here to the left, we would go right down into the core of downtown Bellingham. That's why I think a lot of college students hang out. They like to go down there on the weekends or to study, go to the nightclubs, hang out with their friends. I'm going to include the downtown area in the neighborhoods of the north side of Bellingham video. And the next stop we're going to be coming up here on is the York neighborhood. The York neighborhood, very old neighborhood, very old homes, pretty tight in there, but great, beautiful character in those homes as well. There are a good number of college students that live there as well, but there's a lot of non-college students living in there as well too. You can see, you can squeeze through here. We're crossing Ellis Street and entering the York neighborhood. Again, I've got a great video on the York neighborhood. One of the landmarks here is Nelson's Market, which has been continuously operating, I believe, since 1895. And it is still a diner and a convenience store for the residents of the York neighborhood. See, there's a lot of nice looking craftsman style homes and late Victorian age homes. There are a few new construction homes in here as well. This neighborhood in the 1970s and 80s and even the first part of the 1990s was kind of starting to get tired. There were a lot of rentals in here, and of course, as home prices in Bellingham have gone up over the last 20-25 years. Oh, there's Nelson's Market right there to the right. Cool little place to hang out and get some breakfast or lunch or pick up some milk and eggs. But yeah, so as prices went up, and people, of course, first-time home buyers started buying these houses in here and fixing them up, doing renovations. And so over the last 20 years, we've seen this neighborhood become a lot more revitalized. And here's Lakeway Drive. We'll see how long it takes to get out here and make a left-hand turn with no light signal. I think I can do this. No accidents. Good deal. All right, we're gonna be crossing under I-5 here, heading into the next neighborhood. So we are entering the Puget neighborhood. Puget as in Puget Sound, which is the name of the body of water that Bellingham Bay is part of, the whole Puget Sound area. So I know when I first moved to Bellingham in 2000, I had never been to the Northwest. I moved up here for a job. I remember I flew in for my job interview, and it was in the evening, and I woke up the next morning, and I remember they took me to lunch, at a place right on Bellingham Bay, and I asked kind of a funny question. I was like, "Is that saltwater?" And they laughed. They said, "Yeah, it's part of the Puget Sound." So if you are not so familiar with the water geography around here, the open ocean, if you take the Straits of Juan de Fuca from the open ocean, which is even south of Seattle, it comes in, and then that whole area of water through Seattle all the way up here to Bellingham is called the Puget Sound. And you can actually take what they call the Inside Passage north out of Bellingham on the Alaska Ferry Highway system all the way up to Alaska. And that's why they call that the Inside Passage. Bellingham is that last southernmost stop. All right, so we're making a right on Puget Street. Makes sense since we're in the Puget neighborhood. So the Puget neighborhood has, a good mix of homes, older homes, mid-century, new construction, wide price range. I would say homes in here are going to start around the $600,000-$700,000 range, and they're going to go all the way up to several million, depending on whether you got views of the bay to the west, to my right. So now we're on Consolidation Road. You can see I'm going to do a quick U-turn here. Gives you an idea of some of these nicer homes up here. A lot of these were built in the mid-1990s. See if we can get a little bit of a perspective of the bay here to the left. You can see straight ahead, that's SEHOME Arboretum. That will never be developed. Some great trails up there. That's right next to Western Washington University. Again, I have some great videos of me hiking around up there, showing you what SEHOME Arboretum looks like. It's basically kind of like the Central Park of Bellingham, but a lot more densely forested. See straight ahead there, King Mountain to the north. You can see on the back side of the hill here in the Puget neighborhood, the homes get a little older. They don't have views of the bay. So this is somewhere your more affordable homes are going to be here. And we are back on Lakeway Drive, heading east. Next stop is the Wacom Falls neighborhood. And the main feature of living in the Wacom Falls neighborhood, again, very much like this, it's got Wacom Falls Park. It's one of the largest parks in Bellingham. A lot of great hiking trails. Beautiful, beautiful Wacom Falls. If you have a short minute to stop by the Wacom Falls Park and check out the waterfall, it's absolutely stunning. It's best to look at Wacom Falls in the spring months because with a lot of the glacier runoff up at Mount Baker, the Cascade Mountains, it's going to be flowing really strong and beautiful raging waterfall. As you progress through the summer into the fall, not quite as spectacular, but still very nice. So when I make this left-hand turn here on Alvarado, we're going to be entering the Wacom Falls neighborhood. Again, very similar to the Puget neighborhood as far as the style of homes and the price ranges. We are getting closer and closer to the Galbraith Mountain biking area. So again, if you are into mountain biking, this is one of the areas that you definitely want to check out. One of the middle schools is also here in the Wacom Falls neighborhood. It's just about a mile to the right. It's called Colshan Middle School. Back to Lakeway Drive. And we just went through that intersection. If I'd gone straight, that would take you into the lower entrance of Wacom Falls Park where the waterfall is. Up here to the left would be the upper entrance. So you could park in either one. You can walk back and forth between those parking lot entrances, but if you want to specifically go look at the falls, that would have been the entrance you would have gone into. If you're going to go to the upper entrance, you'd make a left-hand turn right here, and then make your next left-hand turn. There's signs pretty well marked. Now we're going to check out another cool development here, especially for you mountain biking and hiking lovers. Homes were built in the last 10 to 15 years. There's still some new construction going on. Very high-end home builder in here. Built some great homes. And right all throughout this neighborhood, there are trail entrances to Galbraith. You can see over here to the right, we got a mountain biker. A lot of mountain bikers park here. If you go straight ahead, there's a parking lot for the mountain bikers. They can park, and there's a trailhead right there. So we're in Hannah Creek Development. Great properties here. The houses on my right here have views of Bellingham Bay. Homes in here are going to start in the $800,000-$900,000 range, go up to about $1.5 million. And as always, there's another neighborhood video I have on this. If you were to go up past those pickup trucks there on the right, there's some stairs that take you up to Galbraith Trailhead to get in and start mountain biking. On a Saturday and Sunday, there's cars lining these streets. You can see another trailhead right there to my right. There's cars lining these streets with bike racks, you know, because everyone parks in here to do their mountain biking. This is the newer part of the neighborhood. These homes have been built in the last year or two. There might even be some new construction. There's some more phases up to the right there. New construction going on. So if you're looking at new construction, $1 million range, there's still stuff being built. You can see a lot of solar panels on these houses too. That's becoming a recent trend here in Bellingham. A lot of new construction. People are putting solar panels on. And the next neighborhood we're going to be heading to is the Geneva neighborhood. The Geneva neighborhood is the last neighborhood heading east before we get to Lake Wacom. Now, Lake Wacom is a massive lake. It runs mostly north and south. I guess it goes from the northwest to the southwest. It's 16 miles long. It goes all the way down into Skagit County, which is the next county south of us. It is a water skier and wakeboarder mecca. Paddle boarders, sailors, fishermen, you name it. Especially in the summer months, Bloedel Donovan Park is one of the more famous parks. They got a great outdoor beach area, boat launch. It's packed. I got a video on, it's called the 2 best place swimming beaches in Bellingham that you can check out. You can see what it looks like on a nice hot summer day. Lake Wacom is also the drinking water source of Bellingham, Washington. It does go through, of course, a treatment process, but so Lake Wacom is very much protected by the county and the state to make sure that that remains a viable source. It's fed by the glacier runoff, the Cascade Mountains. So it's a very cold lake. A lot of great waterfront homes on Lake Wacom. So the nice thing about the Geneva neighborhood, again, very wooded. A lot of older homes to the south. This turns into Cable. So we're on Cable Street. So the homes to my right, they're going to be the older homes in the older part of Geneva, and the ones to the left are still kind of older, but as you get closer to the water, there's going to be newer construction right on the waterfront. You can see the lake straight ahead. We're going to be going closer to the lake here. If you've heard of Sudden Valley, this is the way you would drive to go out to Sudden Valley. You'd stay on this road, follow this road all the way out, turns into Lake Wacom Boulevard. We got the Furs Retreat Center, gets rented out by businesses, churches for summer camps, day camps, all that kind of stuff. You can also turn right here on Lake Louise Road, head out to Sudden Valley. It's called the back way to Sudden Valley. This is one of my favorite roads to drive on. It's just a nice, relaxing, curvy road. Follows the lake here. Now we're on Lake Wacom Boulevard. I see some deer here. You really got to watch out for the deer. I'm gonna make a quick right-hand turn to stay in the Geneva neighborhood. If we continued straight, we would leave the Geneva neighborhood and start heading towards Sun Valley. So the Geneva neighborhood has Geneva Elementary School. It also has a private school called the Waldorf School, and they're all over the country. If you've heard of Waldorf schools, it's a great private school system option. It starts with kindergartners and it goes all the way up through 8th grade. The cool thing about Waldorf is that when you start your child as a kindergartner, they get a particular teacher, and every grade that they progress through, the teacher moves with them. So they have the same teacher all the way up through 8th grade. It's a great school. You can see it's right there on the left. It's kind of tucked into those trees. Hard to see. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying this video. I know when I moved here in 2000, like I said, I'd never been here. I was moving up here for a job that I got. And of course, the internet was still more in its infancy. And I wish that I had videos like this because I had no clue. I actually moved here and rented with my new wife at the time. We rented for 6 months and had a realtor drive us around to get us familiar with the different areas. So I'm really glad to be providing this video to you guys so that you can see some of these things and do some research on your own at your computer at your leisure, or if you are on a house hunting trip here, gives you an idea of where you can drive around to see efficiently the different neighborhoods. And like I said, I'd encourage you, if you're watching this video before you come here, feel free to watch it at 1.5 speed if you want to get through it quicker and slow it down at the right spots and such, or customize your trip. At least you can see on the map with the real time where we're at. But yeah, since 2004, I've been helping people, just like you guys, make that move here to the Bellingham, Washington area, and I really love it. It's one of the most exciting things I love about being a real estate agent for the last 20 years is helping people move here. I'm so excited to live here, especially not being a native, and just sharing with people all the wonderful benefits of the Bellingham, Washington area. So definitely give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or what I like even best is set up a Zoom call. We can meet face to face, and I'd love to find out how I can help. And if you have lived in any of these neighborhoods and you're watching this video, be sure to leave some comments below on what you liked and didn't like, some of the pros and cons. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to be doing another video, so stay tuned. So be sure to like and subscribe this video and tap the notification bell so that you can be notified when these videos come out. And until next time, hope to see you around town.